Hi guys, this is the cool down for Unit 7, Lesson 10. So let's look at number 1. It says, which figures show perpendicular lines or rays? Guys, the key word here is perpendicular. A perpendicular line has right angles. Okay, and it has 4, so it's going to make like a cross. It could be turned, but they all still have to make a right angle. So if we come back, let's look at A. So A is made up of 2 rays. And when I'm thinking about perpendicular, I'm thinking about square angles. And I can see this angle right here is acute. It's not a right angle. This one right here is clearly obtuse. So it is also not a right angle. This one, acute. This one, obtuse. So A does not show any perpendicular lines or perpendicular rays. So A would not be circled. Now let's look at B. B is made up of 2 rays. Okay. Now these could be continued, and if I did that, I would have these nice square angles. Those are all 4 right angles, so B is going to be perpendicular. So B should be circled. Let's look at C. C has, okay, I see a right angle, a right angle. Oh, what if I continue? Now I've got 4 right angles. C is also perpendicular. It should be circled. Take a look at D. D has 4 right angles. The whole thing is turned a little bit, and so that threw some of you off. But it is also perpendicular. The only one that was not was A. Those are just intersecting lines. All right, guys, so lots of confusion around that one. So perpendicular has to make 4 right angles. And remember, none of these have a line segment, do they? They're all either just a line or they have an arrow showing they go on and on. So it is inferred that these would be perpendicular. Okay? I know it's kind of tricky, but that would be the answer. Okay, number 2. I think what we missed is this word labeled. So it says, use a protractor to measure the labeled angles in the figure. So we have X and we have Y. That means I should have measured X and I should have measured Y. So let me first highlight X. All right, X is highlighted in green. So when you guys measured that one, you should have gotten like about 54 degrees. Somewhere close to 54 degrees. I would say it's correct if you said like 52, 53, maybe 55 or 56. Somewhere close to 54. This is obviously an acute angle. So that means you have to read the scale that shows an acute angle. So your answer has to be less than 90 degrees. Guys, I was getting answers like this, 120, 105, and that's way off. That tells me you're reading the wrong scale on your protractor. Okay, and so X would have been 54-ish degrees. So then we also have Y. Let me highlight Y. Okay, so Y is highlighted in this hot pink. Okay, and if I look at Y, I can see it is clearly bigger than 90 degrees. It is an obtuse angle. So when I measure it, I need to use the scale that shows numbers larger than 90 degrees. So that would have been about 117 degrees. And I accepted anything from 115 to like 122, somewhere in there. If it was way off, I did not. Some of you guys tried to tell me it was like 78 degrees or 62, and that just tells me you're reading the wrong scale. So to get a 3, you could have missed 1 or 2. But to get a 4, you would have had to have circled B, D, C, and you would have had to label both X and Y. All right, guys, remember perpendicular lines make 90-degree angles.